Our trip continues today, but not before we've had breakfast. Crumpets with Vegemite. Beautiful. The day's looking perfect again. So today we're heading from Mount Beauty back down through the Victorian High country and back down to the south coast of Victoria to Port Albert. We're a bit excited about today again because about half the road we're going to take today we haven't been on before. So from Mount Beauty we head up into the mountains again, heading toward Mount Hotham. Before we start climbing up into the mountains, we go through some quite scenic farmland and through little towns like Freeburg, Smoko, and then Harrietville. Harrietville's a very pretty little place and it's got a number of cafes that you could stop at. But it's time to head up the mountain. This is the main Hotham Road. It's a weekday and the road repair people are right out in force. And there's a number of trucks we had to pass to get up to here. But it's still reasonably early in the morning, so we have a pretty good run after the roadworks. And the views are spectacular. But we're not going all the way up to Mount Hotham. This is our turn-off. We're heading down the Adventure Road directly down to Dargo in Victoria. But when we get to the intersection we find that it says the road's closed to all vehicles. Oh poo, what are we going to do now? Well, there was a phone number to ring and fortunately there was mobile reception here. So Wendy gave them a call and they said, no, it's actually open, just take your time. It's been wet, but it should be okay now. So we thought, well, what's the worst that can happen? I guess if it really looks bad, we can turn around and come back again. I didn't show it on the video, but the first few hundred metres is really steep, but it was bitumised. And then it's gravel from there on. And the road's actually not all that daunting once you come off that little spur where we were stopped, because the road follows the ridges all the way along and so it really doesn't go down or up very steeply. But the road was pretty rough in places with the corrugations and loose rocks, but there was no other traffic, so there was no real problem. And because we were following the ridges, there were views everywhere. We're not riding adventure bikes, we're just riding road bikes. But you've got to admit that you're really missing something if you cut out little sections of dirt road on your road bike, because these roads are easily navigable and they're just spectacular to ride on. We eventually come down off the ridge, well, not all that far down, but onto flat, high country. It's still about, I think about 1300 metres up here. It doesn't feel it. It feels as though we're right down on the flats. But the road's a lot more straight and open along here, so it's much easier to ride it. Although when Wendy passed me, I had struggled to keep up with her. There were sections of this road that showed that it would have been really treacherous if this had been wet. And now we're just riding through the mist. It's just a little bit cooler, but it's not too bad. We eventually hit the sealed road again, and now we start to wind down the mountain towards Dargo. The surface is really good here. We eventually start following the river until we get to Dargo itself. Now, Dargo's famous for adventure riders who will trailer their bikes up to Dargo and then spend the weekend or numbers of days exploring the many more adventurous gravel roads in the area. But that's not for us, of course. It's lunchtime, so let's see what they've got to offer. Oh, goody. A pie with sauce. What more could you ask for? It's all sealed road from Dargo down, but there's still about 80 kilometres of lovely, sweeping and sometimes quite tight corners. And the road goes through native bush and pine plantations. The pine plantations smell really nice. Anyway, we're just about to the end of our journey and it's time for a bit of a stretch. And one major thing to stop fatigue is to make sure you stay hydrated. Anyway, we're here at tonight's destination of Port Albert on the south coast of Victoria. Port Albert is in protected waters, again a bit like Marlow where we stayed the other night. It seems very quiet here, not too many people around, which is beautiful, I love that. Grumpy old farts like me really hate crowds. Anyway, this is us for tonight, and it looks really nice. This was very nicely appointed and even had a coffee machine with coffee pods available for free. Well, free, within the price. But now it's time for walkies. All those bollards must have cost a fortune. Only one night here, so it's time to leave. As you can see, the day starts out foggy and damp, but already there are signs of the sun poking through and promising a beautiful day ahead. There's not too much adventure in store for us today. We're heading west and down this little peninsula and then across on a ferry and then up to a little place called Daylesford. Of course, it's always an adventure when the trip includes an overseas trip. In this instance, we're crossing Port Phillip Bay from Sorrento to Queenscliff. And it looks like we've been really unlucky with the weather again. Looks like there's no chance of us using our wet weather gear yet again today. While the Victorian High Country is motorcycle heaven, the middle of Victoria isn't. It's flat and usually quite boring, and at the moment it's very dry, being the end of summer. But we've finally arrived at Daylesford and we're going to stay here 2 nights. Daylesford is quite a touristy town because it's not that far from Melbourne. But it doesn't look like it's super busy at the moment. It's famous for its natural mineral springs, but we won't be bothering to investigate those. Anyway, this is us for 2 nights. It's an old motel, but really quite nice. And undercover parking is always a bonus. It's a brand new day and we're taking a day trip up to Bendigo. I've got to admit that I wouldn't be coming up here other than for the purposes of visiting someone. It's pretty flat and boring again. But here we are at the famous Biker Bits headquarters. Mind being filmed, I suppose?
Hey? Oh, no, no.
Just for
something different.
Yeah, for something different, just for our video. Mark has a YouTube channel and every Tuesday he publishes a video called Man Cave Tuesday, and this is his man cave. A very neat looking arrangement it is too. And next door he's got a proper shed with all these bikes and all these goodies in it. Anyway, thanks Mark and Nay for the visit. There's a link to his channel in the description of this video if you're interested. I suggest you go and check it out. He's a fun guy to listen to and to watch his adventures. So it's back to our motel at Daylesford, and we've plotted out a slightly different route that is a little bit more interesting, such as Mount Alexander. One of the rare places that's got a hill out this way. And standing up at the top of the hill, you can see how flat the rest of the country is. It's very dry out here too. It's back to the motel room for the night, And who knows what sort of great adventures are in store for me tonight. Fortunately, none of it was put on film. Oh dear, another perfect day. The temperature's in the low 20 degrees Celsius, and we're heading south again. So today from Daylesford, we're going south again, down onto the coast to a place called Port Campbell, which is right on the famous Great Ocean Road. But of course there's road work to negotiate to get down there. Again, the road back down south is relatively boring, so we took a little bit of a diversion on some gravel road just to break up the video a bit. Another way to break the monotony is to stop at a bakery. This time it's at Camperdown. And what a nice looking bakery it is too. All sorts of lovely goodies on offer. Ah, a lovely snot slice. Can't be beaten. Followed by hot chocolate. Back on the road again, and we're getting closer to the coast now, and the countryside is becoming a little bit more interesting. Still nice farmland, but a few sweeping corners break up the monotony quite a lot. I'm riding a Honda NC 750X, and the fuel is under the back seat. But it's easy to get at even with panniers, because one of the straps goes under the seat and the other one goes over the top at the back. So it's no hassle to fuel up. We're staying in a cabin at the caravan park at Port Campbell. Haven't been here before, so it's all an adventure to us. These little units are a bit more like a motel room rather than a proper cabin, because they don't have proper cooking facilities, but it looks nice and there's a king-size bed. Yeehaw! Who knows what sort of fun might be in store? Well, the fun will be tomorrow when we explore the Great Ocean Road scenery. But that's for the next video.